don't even know how to say hi. I'm tired. I ran 12 miles today. Getting ready for my big Thanksgiving morning half marathon. It's my last big run before then. So like I'll probably run another, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 in the next couple of days. But if I don't do a 7 on Thursday or Friday, I probably won't run anything that big. I'll probably be like 3 to 5 because I gotta be ready to run my 13 on Thursday. Can you believe it? It's Thanksgiving next week already? Holy moly. Time is a flying. So anyway, what I've been working on is I need to create some kickoff plays so that my system can take those in. But here's the problem. Well, there was a problem. I've been working on it all day. I think I've got it mostly fixed. We're about to find out here. I had no special teams plays at all. No kickoffs, no field goals, no returns, nothing. I mean, it just didn't exist. So what I've had to do is set up my play editor to actually allow me to create these plays. Now, it seems I'm going to have to drop this collection. Apparently it's not updating based on up changes, which I'm probably going to have to fix. Or maybe it didn't finish running. Is it still running? What the heck? What's it doing? Hello? There it goes. That was weird. Oh, maybe that was the problem. I didn't let it finish running. My bad. So this is only going to be like, I don't know, maybe an hour stream. Don't expect it to be too long. Just trying to, kind of reach out, stay in touch, let you know I'm still cranking at this thing. 1 year in, man, day 260 some, which again, I'm guessing on the days I'm losing track. I've been rounding up for days that I skip, and that's, so it's not an exact number, but I'm roughly 260 days worked out of what, 360 in a year? So it's probably an awful lot of days off. If I don't feel like I've taken that many days off, doesn't mean it isn't. I did go on vacation, although I did work a little bit while I was gone. I worked a few days. And it's all about, oops, what is going on, man? What is this? Page could not be found. What? Thought we had all this stuff worked out, but it looks like, oh, no, it's back. And this is white. How come it turned black? Look at this. This is the last time. This is the last time. Hey, Metmans. Metmans, has it been many months? Well, thanks for stopping by again, man. Many months ago, I've gotten a lot done in many months. So, although I haven't updated this, my latest news, I haven't been putting anything on this. This is just the things I've been getting done. The last time I put anything in there was in January, and that was, only what, 2.5 months? Yeah, 2.5 months into the project. Now I'm over a year into the project now. So, yeah, 200 and some odd days of development. And, so yeah, we're getting quite a bit more going. Of course, what the heck is going on, man? I'm still making the football game. That's what I'm working on, man. Except where the heck is why isn't this clicking? What happened to my, hello? All right, something is weird going on here, man. Something is not. Okay, now. Oh, okay. I think it fixed. Sorta. I don't know what's going on here. My things got out of alignment. What is going on? AI, what did you do to my game? Since I last updated. There, see, look, stuff ain't loading. Something's wonky. No, I'm still working on the football game. Some stuff is weirding out on me. What is going on? All right, so I got the gateway, the game plan. All these things are running, I think. Playbook. Yeah, everything's. Oh wait, we got an error retrieving game plan for user. What time was that? At 1:11? Oh, that was forever ago. Yeah, so where I'm at now in my football game, assuming everything I get it going, I've got the here. I can actually show you what I've got going in Unity now. I've got it now where I've got the back end developing. See, let's see. I don't know how many months ago what I had done, but I have gotten a lot done. It's finally start locking down things. I've got my system importing all of the player data for 1 year, but I've got the logic in there now, so I can put other years in when I'm ready. I've got it creating leagues. So a user logs in, creates their account. It generates a league for them. You know, I've gotten a lot done. So yes, I've advanced a lot. Is the game ready to go? No. I mean, this is a pretty in-depth game. So it's not a game. Well, I don't know. It's not a game I think one person can get done in a year. I'm hoping I'll be able to have like an alpha or beta within 2 years. So within a year from now. I do expect to have some actual demos with functionality within the next couple of months. I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll have my first I want to say end-to-end account creation to game simulation demo. So, you know, a functional APK that you can put on Android or run on your PC or whatever that I could actually let people look at, like publishers or whatever who want to look at it. That is the goal. So I've done a few things recently, starting to get some things to go in. I've got it where, like I said, it creates an account for the user. The user then gets to create a league. The league then, you can pick the team you want from the league, assign a name. And right now, I'm trying to go straight into the sim because I'm trying to work on the sim. So where it picks a team from the system and you can play against it. The simulation will run. And but in order for me to do that, that's why I'm back onto my play editor, because I have to create special teams plays, because I created some basic offensive and defensive plays, but no special teams plays. And of course, the first play you have to run in a sim is the kickoff, which is a special teams play. So, so yeah, I have to get some special teams. So I've sort of been working on these last few days, is getting my editor to support special teams plays, and that meant putting formations in. And then that ended up being more of a thing because kickoff formations nowadays are totally weird compared to formations from, you know, previous years. 94 and 24 and 25 kickoffs are strange. They have odd rules and stuff, and so I've got to build all that nonsense in. And so I had to go back and load a bunch of game rules for various seasons. My plan is to allow people to, when they create their own leagues, not counting the first league, which is like the intro league, but once you're able to create your own league, you'll be able to pick your rule set. But I'm going by rule set, not by individual rules. So like Madden and a lot of these games will have these really long list of rules you can tweak. You want to have this and that and this, that, you know, customize it to your own special set of rules. Yes, that's technically maybe something I'll do in the future, but my goal right now is to have rule sets based on year. And there's enough years with variations, and it'll just tell you these are what rules, you know, your current rules and the new rules. And so you get a change. So, because I kind of want, my idea is that every league is using some version of actual set of NFL rules. No weird pick as you go kind of stuff. You know, I'm trying to create a kind of as realistic a scenario as possible, even though, you know, if you're going to play under 2018 rules, then you pick 2018 and you play on those rules. Because if you preferred the way they did kickoffs or the way they did, you know, whatever, it'll have the rule set. I have all those in. I put the penalty variations in there, the kickoff rules, the core rules, and I have like all the way back to 94, a set of rules. And it's not every year, but a lot of the years have changes. And so, anyway, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, so if I go quick play here, which is already selected, and this is my, see, I picked a team, and then you can see I created a stadium on here. So it's a very basic stadium, you know, lets you kind of look at it. I haven't done too much with it, but it actually is kind of cool because it lets me generate dynamically these. Yeah, you have to, you know, okay, here's the thing, and I think this is the problem with a lot of people when they work on projects. They only see the end goal, and therefore a big end goal, like creating a big game or a complex game, has an end goal that's months, years down the road, right? Because you got to get a lot done. I think developers who work on long games have to be able to find joy in the little successes, in the mini goals. Okay, like a mini goal is when I created this field, or when I started working on my sim, my goal was just to get these teams to load, my home team and my visiting team. I just wanted them on the field, nothing else. That was my goal, and I worked on that for a few days to get it, because I know nothing about Unity, right? So I'm working on getting the prefabs and the dynamic loading so it picks all the right players, and you get 22, all the starters from my formations and all the stuff I created. So there was a lot going on in there, but I wanted it to be able to read that, pull it in from my back-end services, pull it in from the connected teams, and drop it on the team. And as soon as it did that, I was like, yeah, look at that. That's cool, man. I got all my guys lined up on the sidelines waiting to play. That's all it does. I mean, that's all they do, but I was able to find joy in that little thing. And then it's like, all right, what next? You know what? I hated my field. My field was ugly. It had I had a weird overlay that was blurry, and it was just an image that I took the green out and plopped it on. And then I was like, I started working with AI. I'm like, I want to try to make this better. And I ended up creating this dynamic field generator, which actually will allow me to rebuild my field over and over. And I can put things like custom logos in the middle of the field and custom names on the end zones now. I haven't got it loading those, but they are customizable. I just haven't started that yet. And then I thought, I don't have, it just looks like space out here around my field. I need a stadium. How hard is a stadium? So I started working on doing a stadium, ended up creating a dynamic generator for the stadium. I can add tiers and banner rows. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Look how, and then when you have it, when I have it just in my on-field scene, I can look at the big picture and rotate it and stuff. And it's like, this is really cool, man. And I was like, yeah. So, you know, each one of those little things is like exciting, and it's like, ooh, this is cool. Let's go to the next thing. The game itself is getting closer and closer and closer every week or two. I make, you know, something that's starting to look like a game. But if that was the only place I could find satisfaction is in the end goal, I would have given up a long time ago. I couldn't imagine being that my only joy was going to be in the end goal. And I think a lot of people like, oh, it takes so long. I got to develop all these characters. Oh, I got to create this inventory system. Oh, I got to do this. And I don't want to do this no more. It's like, well, if you don't know how to develop, be happy when you create that inventory system. That's cool. That's a functionality that you didn't know how to do before. You learned something new, and maybe start learning how to do stuff like, how can I use this again in the future? Oh, let me learn to put it in a bucket so I can put it in other places. And so like once I started figuring out that I was creating a dynamic stadium where I can actually generate it, changing the number of rows in the stadium, and how many on the end zones are different. My end zones can be different from my sidelines, so I can actually make it look like one side is shorter, so I can actually kind of customize the shape a little bit. Eventually, I want to be able to pull in a stadium and start cutting parts out so I can create like a tunnel. I don't know how to do cut stuff out of an object yet. But again, that stuff I'll figure out later. My goal is to try to get the game mostly functional within the next 3 to 6 months. I mean, like the function of the game, the simulation, getting all the parts in place, all that. 3 months is probably closer to 6 months. And then after that, hopefully I'll have most of my base functionality there. And then I'll have to start playing more with the graphics. And I'll be doing graphics in the middle. Every now and then I'll fix this or that. One of the key elements I wanted for my field was to be able to swap out the material, because some of my since this is a fantasy-based league, I don't want anything like artificial turf, right? And I want to find some way to like maybe make these stadiums, put on some textures that look like wood or some other materials, that wouldn't be found in like a fantasy world. Right now it's cement, which again, probably not really cement and not a fantasy world thing. Maybe I should put it in to look like stone or something, like rocks even, like a rough texture that just kind of looks like somebody pounded out stone rock to make the seats and stuff. I don't know, something like that. I got to see what textures I can find that do that. But again, the idea is to try to keep my fantasy theme going. Because like these guys, can't see them here. I'm not able to zoom in on this. You'll be able to see them up close when you're looking at rosters and stuff like that. But on the field, plus I have my cameras. They're going to eventually zoom in a little closer. But like these guys are all loaded up, and it's like, let's see if I can go. Let's go here. And so this is my stadium. Let's see if I can hide this for a minute. So this is the stadium I created, and this line that goes in the middle is a banner row. So I can adjust the height of that. A banner row is like when you see all the advertisements and stuff that go around the outside. You got an upper banner row and a lower one down here. That's what these bottom parts are. And then I have a couple of dummy characters that are just standing in the middle of the field, just so I can kind of make sure I scaled kind of the size I want to. So you've got this is one of the V-Born Scorned guys, and then this is the Titan Reapers. And I haven't got any animation on them or anything yet. Eventually I'll put some animation, and I got to change their textures so that I can put different numbers on them and change the color of the uniforms. All that stuff is down the road. That's not high importance right now. I'm even hoping that maybe with a little luck, if I can get a publisher or somebody who's interested in helping, I can maybe get somebody who knows what they're doing with that stuff and help me build some textures for these guys. These guys have default textures, which came off of like an AI texture generator thing, and it's kind of crap, but that's why he's got a weird stripe on his helmet. I don't know what the heck that is. But anyway, so I got these guys on the field. You can see I have my football there. So it's kind of cool. And so what I'll probably be doing in the first iteration of my football's kind of in the ground. I probably should fix that. But what I'll probably be doing with my first simulation, is these players are going to come onto the field. I'll have them running the play as I start getting the plays in place and teaching them and programming in how the various events happen of the field. And then I'll just have the players moving around. They won't be animated, but they'll be like sliding up and down the field. They'll look like robots being pushed around the field, but like mannequins moving around the field. Yeah, I'm getting excited for it. As just seeing everything start to show up on the field is pretty cool. Honestly, I'm starting to think I like this VBorn Scorn logo better than the one I have. One of the things I was trying to do with a lot of my logos is since each team character or mascot, whatever these characters are based off of actual teams. The VBorn Scorned is the Denver Broncos. So if it's an anagram, so you can re-scramble it, and it's the Denver Broncos, right? And then the Scorned, being the mascot, is what this guy is. He's a Scorned. And VBorn is just the made-up city name I came up with so that I can have a city in the anagram. So I took V for the VBorn, and then I put this Scorned creature as the logo. But what I ended up doing with a lot of my logos is I tried to mimic them after the actual NFL logo. So like when I go here and then go back to my homepage, see, this is like kind of like the Denver Bronco logo. It's the VBorn Scorned character instead of the horse, using the same white, blue, and orange colors because they have the same colors. It uses the same white, blue, and orange colors as the logo. Now, I'm thinking it could be done that way, but just better. I don't like this. It looks kind of drab. It's kind of blah. I mean, most logos are kind of drab anyway. But anyway, so that's kind of what I want to do. And eventually, if players have more than one team, they can click on this logo. This doesn't do anything right now because I only have one team assigned to this character or to this user. But eventually we'll click on the logo and then you could change to a different team that you have. And the idea is that that's kind of my goal. I'm going to have a few different options for what people can purchase. Like instead of having paywalls and all that crap, because I want people to just play if they want to play. But if they want to, they can add on like, hey, I want to have an extra team. And it'd be like $10 to add another team on, or maybe $5. Just to be able to buy and run multiple teams if you want to. But now that I have a stadium, I started watching some videos on how to create, terrain. And I thought, it'd be kind of cool. I could probably rebuild this, put some trees on, drop the stadiums that I create right in the middle of the field so they would look kind of different instead of having this ugly field. And then just kind of get some assets for buildings and actually build it so it's a real area instead of just a picture. So, which will start to make it look quite a bit different from my React images. But what I might do is like take snapshots of the end results and then use those in the React. So they'll just be fixed screens, but allows me to kind of carry it over if the website part is what I'm using. So got a lot of plans, a lot of AI, a lot of visuals that I want to do eventually, but right now it's just kind of, get things running here. And what that means is I have to get my plays running. And that's when you came in, I was trying to figure out, I had it kind of going. I was trying to fix plays, but as you can see, I ran into, oops, that's not it. I ran into an issue with it loading, which I don't know why. Why did it stop running? See, I'm getting this weird blow up. It's like, why is it? It's like things are like not on the page anymore. It's so weird. And now it's like gone again. What the heck, man? AI, you think you broke something? It's like, I'm going to have to go into the code and look and see what AI did to break up my stuff. Ugh. Actually, what I could do is, you know what, there's probably an error. Let's go see what the errors there's something going on here. Yeah. We are failing. Yeah, well, I don't have any. Okay. We're not connecting to the servers correctly. I think something got whacked. Gateway playbook. Players. Nope. All right, so we have something. All right, let's. Thing is, I was just past this. I thought I had all this fixed. I don't know why it all of a sudden started breaking again. Oh, I don't need that. Nope. Let's close that one. Let's go back. I'm really looking forward to getting this animation. Yeah, I know. Debug time. So I had to fix a lot of these. For one, the AI was getting confused on how some of my logic was laid out here. So these are my formations, how the various formations I have available anyway. Offense, defense, and then special teams. And special teams is so weird. The kicking game now is so bizarre. See, what did it do? Errors. First, let me verify if the Next.js server is still running properly. What do you mean? Why would it not be running properly? Why would it not be running properly? What are you talking about? Obviously, something's running here. All right, let's close this. Are we still on 3,000? We are. Okay, let's go back over. All right, let's let you run it. What do you think you got? Pretty sure I did that, though. See, I think that's what this is. Yeah, npm run dev. Let's close this guy. And then we're going to go over here. No, that's not good. Why is it running on? We can't run on 3.0.2 because I have actually references that run back to the actual server for now anyway. All right, so at what point, is there something? Do I have a PFFM web? No? See, that's not there, so that shouldn't be causing me a problem. Do I have? Nope. All right, well, now that I closed everything, let's see if I can get it restarted. npm run dev. Maybe it is just a matter of, this should load up on 3,000. Okay, so yeah, we're on 3,000 now. It shouldn't be a problem. But now everything's on the right server at least. I still think it's broken because it was running on 3,000. So I don't think we conflicted there. Yeah, that's changed. I've given it official name. All right, so I actually have changed it now 3 times. 3 times. I've now changed it 3 times. um, it was PFFM, Pro Football Fantasy Manager. Just too long. It didn't have any cool. It didn't have a good ring to it. And then I go, plus it just didn't feel right. So I changed it to FPFM. And so there are still pieces lying around of these previous names. So for the first few months, it was PFFM, Pro Football Fantasy Manager. And then during the next few months, it became FPFM, which is when I started getting into Unity. So actually, it probably started about, maybe that was April or May when I started doing Unity. And so now my Unity app is, you can see I got PFFM Web, which is the website right now. I have the back end, which is PFFM Go MS, which is the back end. And then I have FPFM Android when I switched over to Fantasy Pro Football Manager. Still just didn't do it for me, man. It just felt weird. Neither one of these was working for me. So about, I think, June or July, I started going through a bunch of other names, trying to think of other things and what worked. And I came back to a name that I actually thought of at one point for a board game I created, a football game that I'm actually basing. In fact, a lot of the logic and stuff I built for my board game I created many years ago, which I never released because I didn't know how to do art, so that became an issue. I probably should look into that now. Maybe I could do it with AI art. I don't know. But it was actually a pretty cool game. A friend of mine played it with me, and he thought it was pretty fun. The problem was it was a little slow. Like, it took like an hour and a half to play it, and I wanted to come up with a way to make it play in less time. But I have this thing about creating games that aren't realistic. I want to be realistic, but they also have to be fun. But if you do it right, realistic should be fun, right? Because that's what, I mean, people watch football because it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to do it. And if you get to take part, that's even better. So the sport itself makes for the fun if you do it right. So I'm not worried about that. But there's a couple of parts that were just a little too fiddly, and I think that's what took too long. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, I took the name, and I'm like, this name actually is really kind of cool. And then I thought, let's go to AI and see if I can do some logo ideas, some images that kind of throw this in. And once I got a couple of good images back, I'm like, okay, this is really cool, and it works really well. And it actually fits the theme of the game as well as the concept of the game, right? It's like A to Z, but this is fan to Z, and it's fan to Z. It's fantasy. So I'm building it all in fantasy. So it fits the whole concept of the game, because I wanted it to be kind of a fantasy football, so that everything's in a fantasy timeline or aesthetic. But it's going to be like for fans all the way to Z, you know, like everything I can put in the game. That's the idea. So everything I can within reason. I don't know if I told you this because it was months ago, but the base concept of my game, it is a manager game. First of all, so it's not a controller game. It's a management simulation game, like front office football or the program or college football manager, whatever, those games like that. But it's going to have an actual game simulation that looks cool. The idea is that the simulation should be fun to watch, not weird dotted lines and bars and stuff going up and down the field. I want it to be fun to watch. In other words, I'm going to put some effort into the graphics. That's my objective. Additionally, the other criteria is that the game needs to be playable by any hardcore fan, including, but not limited to, I want the base intelligence level or interest level to be around a 13-year-old who is just a hardcore football fan, right? So not like spreadsheets of data, like front office football and the program and out of the park baseball, which is obviously not football, but people use that as like one of the gold standards for a football management game. And these games like those have pages and pages of stuff. It's a spreadsheet game almost, right? You got tabs running up and down. You got probably 20 tabs running on the right and tabs across the top and tabs down the bottom. And when you click on them, they're just data overload. It's like data vomit. Blah. You got all this stuff about the player and all the things he can do and his bench and his sprinting and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what to focus on here. I mean, this is just too much. And it's like, I don't need all that. What I want is a game that's fun to look at, the simulation, because I want to watch the games, but I also want to be able to manage the games. I want to be able to do trades and free agency and drafts and manage the maybe the finances of the thing of the players and do some basic training, right? So I mean, be able to do some coaching and training during the week. There's a game called The Program on Android. And it's very it's also got a lot of the same paywalls and all the stuff you get from a mobile phone game, but think of it a little bit more in depth than that, but not like Football GM. Football GM again is one of the few games on the phone that has spreadsheet vomit. I just want it to be something that can be fun. You have enough information. If you've got 20 pieces of stat information, that's enough. You know, you can focus on what you want and what they do, and that's all you need. You don't need 75 pieces of stat information. I don't know. That's my feeling. So I want it to be somewhere in the middle. More visual, less data. Maybe not as much visual as like Madden, because I'm not going to be up there in the Madden world zone. That's graphics beyond my capability and my desire. But something more kind of middle ground. I'm not going to take it's kind of like I'm not going to be the fascist left or the conservative right. Is it fascist? Maybe. I don't think it's fascist, but it's the far left and the far right. I'm going to be that middle ground. I want to be a little bit of everything. Well, I hope you will. I hope you'll take. I mean, yeah, obviously you mentioned being, taking a look at it when I get closer. But my goal is to, I want to be able to listen to what people want in a sim, but at the same time, I don't want it to go too far in either direction. The one thing I want people to know is there won't be any control. Yeah, well, if you're not from the States, right, it's soccer. Or partido de fútbol. I always tell people that, okay, if you want to call it football, call it football. Football, F-U-T-B-O-L. It's because, to me, at least that's still foreign. Because in the U.S., it's soccer, so everything else is foreign, football. Which is really Spanish, not all around the world. But I don't know, Spain and Mexico call it football. And I think, I don't know, it's like, I think American football is American football in Mexican too, or Mexican and Mexican Spanish and Spanish. It's just called Partido de Fútbol de Americano or something like that, or Partido de Fútbol Americano, which is the same basic thing. So, but I feel like it don't bother me, in other words, if somebody calls it football with a hyphenated U. And it's all about me, right? I mean, if you're talking to me, it's soccer and football. keep the line there, and we'll just go from there. You know what? This is one of the things that bugs me about some of the football sims I've seen. Like online, there's a couple of them. One's called Red Zone Action, and I can't remember. There's another one. It's also another football game management sim. And you start playing them. This bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me, but it bothers me. People who add soccer nomenclature to football. calling matches and pitches and friendlies, and they have these terminologies. I've seen a couple of football games where they use those terminologies in reference to American football. I'm like, those are not football terms, not American football terms. Those are soccer terms, and they're not clubs. I mean, I guess they're teams. I mean, people don't reference, yes, they're clubs, I guess. They have a clubhouse, but nobody ever calls them football clubs. They're football teams. We have teams, we have fields, we have games, not matches. We have scrimmage. I don't know what a friendly is, technically. I think it's a game that doesn't count. It's just games that played. And what we would call those would be like scrimmage games or exhibition games. But those would be friendlies, I guess. I don't know what a friendly is technically, because I don't know. But why would you call it a friendly if it was important? Because those aren't friendly. But maybe I'm wrong. And so it's not a pitch. Pitch is the field, right? It's a field. We call it a field. So yeah, I don't know. I just like, if you're going to build an American football game, use American terminology, American football terminology. That's my rant. Okay, so let's go back to seeing what the heck's going on here. So this did load, I think, finally, right? I loaded it. What is that end? What the heck is that end doing? What is that? All right, so we're back. We've got it back. Got my game plan loading. That's so cool. The game plan's pretty neat. It works pretty good. But once I get more data in, I got to start building a default game plan, because every team's going to have at least a default game plan. And then you can start creating your own. Because the default game plan is the game plan that's supposed to cover every situation in the most basic of logic. And just in case the user's game plan doesn't cover something, it'll fall back to the default game plan. So something gets called, right? So I created this play editor now. So now I need to do the most basic thing I need is a kickoff. This is, I'm gonna have to move that up. Look, my kicker don't fit. There's not enough room for him. So I need a similar logic for my, okay, so I made a change for my defensive teams because I have, some of these are really big, like say this punt, right? It covers a whole lot of field. So I put some special logic in for defensive game plans to allow it to shift down and actually fit the whole thing on the field. I didn't even realize that the punt returner is not even showing up on here. He's like a couple back. So I need to make these fields bigger. There's not enough room. Because I still got one. I've only got 2 spaces left, and he's 1, 2, 1, 2. He's 3, 4. He's 3 back. So I got to fix that. I mean, it's not that he's not in existence there. He's just not showing up on the field. And this is the onside kick hands team, which is what? Not showing. Oh, this doesn't even show the kick returner. They do exist way the heck back here. But they're not in my field. So like normal plays, they actually show okay, so yeah. And it'll make sense. And if they're scheduled games like preseason, that's a pretty good comparison. Because scrimmage games are usually games organized by the 2 teams that are involved. It's not like a scheduled game. It's kind of like if the Broncos wanted to have a practice session with the Texans, they would, set up a time. They'd come down and play at some field that they have, probably not even the main field, and they would run plays against each other. And that's kind of what a scrimmage game is. It's just a chance to do. And that's kind of what I built into my game system. I actually have scrimmage games. One of the options on here, I don't think I have a way to actually exit my. So I have, see how this shrinks towards the bottom? Like when I click here, it shrinks to the bottom right. That's supposed to stay visible. I wanted to have, I'm trying to set up a picture-in-picture functionality so that when your game is running, when the simulation is actually running, you can navigate around, maybe go play with your playbook and look at your roster and do different things while that simulation runs in the bottom right corner. So you can actually look and you kind of have like a pip going, picture-in-picture. And I thought that would be kind of cool. And I kind of got that going. You see it shrinks, but it's not staying visible. So it's not important, but I also don't have a way to close it. Like I don't have a way to get out of this short of stopping. I'll get it. I mean, it's a lot to do, as you can see, getting everything in there. But I did create multiple game types, and each one of them has their own little functionality. See, I got my nice little scroll bar. It's loading up all the characters and images and all that stuff that are needed. But all right, so if I go here, these are the types of games I currently have. In fact, this doesn't even have my streamer game, which works on the website but doesn't work here. So, and it's because I'm not yet sure how I'm going to implement it, because mobile devices won't be able to launch a streamer game. Now, the PC and the website will be able to launch a streamer game. And I actually had streamer games working in my demo, in my testing, where it goes and finds a match. And then what it does is it gives you these URL endpoints that you can put into like I as a streamer could put them into like my Nightbot or whatever my my bots are that are being used on my chat. And then then I could put an image of the game on my screen, you know, sitting down here in the corner or something. And then you could actually go in there, and while it's starting up, somebody could type in their team ID, and it would match that team. So the first two people put their team ID in there. It would run those two people's teams against each other. And then other chatters could go in there who, if they play the game, they could actually go in and type in sub QB or sub QB, and it'll put that person's name. Like, say if you were to say sub QB in the chat, it would send a message back to the game, and Metmans would become the QB, and it would say Metmans drops back for pass and throw. You know, you'd be able to see him, see that go, and then it would keep track of the stats for your ID in the game. So if you ever came back and ever like connected into another game I had running, or you did anything that came back in, it would keep track of all your stats, and every now and then it would pop up your player card and it would say 8 of 15 passing, 3 rushes for 9 yards, blah, blah, blah. It would start collecting your stats, and it would just build it up, and it would say, 7 games played, 10 games played, all of the different things that you might have in there. That's fine, man. No, why? Because I wanted people to see me developing this. And I don't just stream my development, although it's a major thing. I do stream other things. Like sometimes I'm gaming and I'll stream. Like on Friday nights or Saturdays, I usually just stream me gaming. So you see, if you go look at my history, you'll see that I have that. I also just like, just try to build up some following. I'm hoping that if I can get it up to a point where I have enough people interested, maybe I'll start being able to get some backing and maybe get some ad revenue from YouTube or whoever. But I got a ways to go before that. I have to have 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube for that. And I have to have quite a few regular viewers for me to get it from Twitch. But still, you know, it's kind of fun to interact and also want to be able to just let people see what I'm working on. Plus, it might help me, I'm thinking too, with getting a job. If for some reason this doesn't pan out, they could see what I've developed, and you know, it's kind of like a visual resume history of what I've done. But yeah, that's why I'm streaming and why I continue to stream. It's fun to do. I've also I paint miniatures sometimes. I have some videos of that. What else have I done? I've also done some board games where I actually played like Frosthaven and some of that, and I've shown some of my collections off in some of the ways. Plus, I sell a case called the Mage Cage and the X-Case, which actually is something I create. I've made like 20,000 of these things, and I've sold most of them. I want to print some more, but again, I need to, you know, if I can get some followings and stuff, I'll do another print run, get some more made, because I have a lot of people saying, when are you going to make more of these? I'm like, oh, when money is falling from heaven. So until then. Anyway, so yeah, hey, thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, I'm going to be stopping anyway, because I only want to do like an hour. I kind of want to let people see where I'm at, what my current status is, and let you know I'm still plugging away here. Stuff is still happening. I am working along. If you see these, little pop-ups here. These let you set, like with the head-to-head, you can actually pick what teams. You put the team ID in of the opposing team. You can set how long the quarters are going to be. I think I have it set to 5, 10, and 15-minute quarters. And then coaching mode. This allows you to actually pick your own plays. No, I won't be allowing coaching mode in all forms of games, because to keep things fair, both sides need to be aware that it's a coaching game. So it's really about your game plan and your playbook versus other people's game plans and playbooks. And I just want to start making that be as robust as possible, giving people lots of control over those things. And yeah, see you later, man. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by again. And then I have League Play, which this is only good if you are actually running a local game. Or sorry, if you're running an AI league, so you have no other people in it. Because most leagues are going to have scheduled games. And so clicking League Play won't necessarily let you run a game. It'll let you, if you don't have an AI game, this may not even exist. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm going to be signing off. It's just kind of an update.